Hello and welcome. In this video I'll be showing you how to make this heart locket booklet. The printable for the project is available in my Etsy shop, so if you'd like to follow along, I'll leave the link to the shop and to the specific printable in the video description. The project will turn out like this and can be left as is or further decorated. You can also put it in the pocket of a junk journal if you'd like. So, without further ado, let's begin. Once you've printed out your printable, go ahead and cut everything out. On the bottom of each page on the printable, you should see instructions of whether or not to print the page on regular printed paper or on cardstock. If you can't get it printed on cardstock, don't worry, just go ahead and print it on regular printed paper and it will work just fine. Here are the other supplies that you will also be needing for this project. We are going to start off with the inner pages of the booklet, and the little number tabs are just so that you know what order the pages go in. So go ahead and set the cover aside and fold every single inside page in half. Once you've creased all the inside pages, we're going to be gluing them together. So go ahead and take a piece of paper or cardstock to protect your work surface, and I'm going to be using some regular school glue and a paintbrush to apply the glue, but you could also use something like a glue stick or a glue dot runner. So let's take the 2 heart pages with a tab that says number 2 and the 2 heart pages with a tab that says number 3. And we're going to glue the right heart on the first set of heart pages and the left heart on the second set back to back to each other, which will combine them into a flippable booklet. And there's no need to get glue on the back of the tab, that's just for reference. Try to line it up best you can, and it should have turned out something like this. So now we can grab the 2 heart pages that have the tab that says number 4. And same idea here, we are going to be gluing the right heart of the previous page set back to back to the left heart of the next page set. We are going to continue doing that until we have all the inner pages glued together and it will form a booklet. And afterwards we will set it off to dry. While it's drying, we can glue the frame and the key together. For the key, go ahead and glue both pieces back to back so that it's double-sided. For the photo frame, you can either glue everything together like so, or if you'd like, you can glue in a different picture of your choosing inside of the frame. If you'd like the key and the frame to look more vintage, you can take some distress ink and something to apply it. I'm going to be using a makeup wedge, but a little bit of tissue or paper towel might also work to apply it. And I'm just going to apply some of the ink to the edges to give it a vintage look. Now we can set those aside and we can take our inner booklet, which should be dry, and we can take some scissors and we're going to cut off all the little number tabs. This is also a good example of how different printers will give you different print qualities. So I got my pages printed at a commercial printer, but I forgot to print the very last page of the printable, and so I printed it the next day, and as you can see in the beginning of the booklet, the pages turned out more of like a grayish, cold tone, and then the very last page of the booklet, it's more of like a warm color. Maybe they used a different printer on a different day, or maybe the ink levels were a little bit different, so it did turn out a slightly different color. So keep that in mind with your own project, that the colors of the printable that you see on screen will vary when you print it depending on the printer you use. Once we've cut off the number tabs of all these pages, we can go ahead and distress the edges using the same method as before. This is also going to help to clean up the edges a little bit and make it look more neat, because as you can see, you're probably going to have a little bit of white on the edges left over from the page behind it when you glued it. So you could cover that up by applying some distress ink, or you could just trim it off with some scissors. Here's what the distressed pages look like. Now we can work on gluing the little inner booklet into the cover. So go ahead and take your cover and cut off that little number tab. We don't need that anymore. And also take your two little cutouts that look like hinges, and we're going to glue them to the cover like so. But before I glue them onto the cover, I will be distressing their edges. So go ahead and glue them right on. Once we've done that, go ahead and take your cover, and we're going to crease it along this line right here and this line right here, and that's just so that we can fold it into the cover shape. Once you've creased it, it should look like this. Now we're ready to glue our inner booklet inside of the cover. And the way we will be doing that is by putting glue on the back of the very first page of the booklet, and then we're going to glue it to the back of the cover. And the same thing for the last page of the inner booklet. We're just gonna put glue on the back of the very last page and glue it onto the back cover. It will end up like this. Once you finish doing that, this is what it should look like. As you can see, your pages might be a little bit warped from all the glue that you've used during the project. So if you'd like them to be flat, you can just go ahead and lay this booklet under like a heavy stack of books for a few hours or overnight, and that should flatten it out. Just be sure that when you're doing this that the glue is fully dry already, because otherwise it might seep out of the edges of the pages and get itself stuck together. And now we can glue our little pocket in here. I'm going to be doing it on the first page, but you can glue it on any page that you'd like. Also, on a side note, make sure that you distress the top edge of the pocket before you glue it in, because I forgot to do that, and so I had to distress it after I already glued it in. But back to gluing, I'm going to be applying some tacky glue to the bottom two edges of the pocket, and I'm going to be gluing it right inside. And when gluing it, you don't want to press too hard on the pocket so that the glue doesn't seep out everywhere. As a precaution, you can also put a piece of paper under that page while it dries so that it doesn't get any of your other pages stuck together. Once that's fully dry, you can add some final touches by distressing the edges of the cover and any other edges that might need it. Lastly, you can add your picture frame and your key into the pocket, and you're done. Here's one last flip through of the project. Thank you so much if you followed along. It helps to support my Etsy shop, and I hope that the tutorial was easy to follow and that the project was enjoyable to do. If you'd like to follow me on social media for more junk journal ideas and projects, that information will be at the end of the video and also in the description. So thank you once again, and hope you have a great rest of your day.